Okay, it is now time for the peaches, and unfortunately, I am not going to do it right away, but usually I'm going to give you a step-by-step instruction on what you want to do for your pies. And I'm going to actually put my grandmother's apple slice or the slice recipe away because I don't need to do anything else with it because I'm not using apples, I'm using peaches. So, what I did, and I just put the dough in about 2 minutes ago, so it needs to chill at least for an hour. I'm probably going to go 2 hours because, like I said, for the next portion, I'm going to be doing jams. I don't have any of the jars, I don't have any of the pectin, and I don't have any of the lids for the jars, and those need to be sterilized. So while those are sterilizing, I'll be making the peach pie. So we're going to do that next. And I'm going to put you guys down. You guys won't see me, but you guys will, of course, hear my wonderful voice. And I'm going to spin you guys for a second, or I'm going to spin the tripod. I've been having problems with the tripod that my phone sits on because it loosens from all of the videos that I've been doing. And now that I have the new computer, I have been looking at possibly getting a new camera for my vlogging. And I actually did find one on Amazon that's actually under $100. Although when I put the tripod and other things that I need with it, it comes up to about $130. And I'm holding back on that right now because I'm still getting used to the computer. But in the future, I will be getting a new vlogging system so that I don't have to rely solely on my iPhone. Now, I have 2 books. I have the Betty Crocker, and you might be wondering, God, this is an old book. Well, you'd be right. This is my grandmother's from the 1950s, is when she had this. I also have the Pillsbury Kitchen cookbook, and I think when she did her peach pies, this is the one she used. But I'm going to consult both and see which recipe looks the best for the peach slices. Now, I'm going to move you guys up so I can have a face-to-face talk with you guys. The peach slices and the peach pies will both use the same ingredient. The only difference between the peach pie versus the peach slices that I'm going to be making is the amount of peaches I'm going to be using. Because I'm using a baking sheet that is much longer and wider than a traditional pie plate, I'm going to use more peaches. So, when it comes to peach pie, and I'm going to look at, no, I don't want crepe Suzettes. Okay, these are meringue baked Alaska. Okay, pastry tips. Fresh peach pie. Okay, this recipe is using an 8-inch pie thing. Oh, and then it has the 9-inch. Okay. So you're going to want the double crust, like I said. You're going to want 5 cups of peeled sliced fresh peaches, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. This is where the lemons will come in. 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of flour, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then you're going to need butter. It says margarine or butter. Use butter. Don't use margarine. Margarine, unfortunately, I have not seen any good health benefits to margarine. Margarine, when they made it, was a big deal because a lot of people were getting high cholesterol by eating butter. Butter is more natural than margarine. Margarine has several things in it that are not natural. So I always say, if you're going to do something, do it right. Go with the butter. You'll thank me in the end. Plus, if you put butter in your crust already has butter, so a couple of tablespoons more of butter. And that's the Julia Childs that comes out of me, is she would always say butter, butter, butter. She was a huge fan of butter when she was alive. So I'm going to consult pastries and pies. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to put you guys down. I'm looking at the Betty Crocker cookbook, and I think it's going to be the exact same thing. My grandmother was a wonderful woman when she was alive. She always wrote these great notes in her book. Okay, so this is pastry for a 9-inch. This uses the lattice. 3/4 cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg or cinnamon salt. This uses 5 cups of sliced fresh peaches and 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine. I would use the butter versus. So they're pretty much the same. We're going to do that in a bit. I need to clean up the kitchen. Like I said, I need to run to the store to do this. But while I'm gone, if you're gathering up your ingredients to follow, get those ready, because the next step you're going to do is you're going to solely focus on your peaches while your dough is chilling in your refrigerator. So it is 12:30. My doughs are not going to be ready until at least 1:30 to 2:30. I'm probably going to give them to 2:30 so I can get other things done. I will be back. We'll be doing part 2 of the peach slices, so stay tuned. Okay, hi all. Welcome back. It's 1:55, so my pie doughs have been in the refrigerator for almost 2 hours. They're going to be in for a little bit longer because I need to add a little bit more water to them. I checked them and I didn't add enough water. I need to add a little bit more water and they need to rest again. I also went back through my grandmother's pie dough recipe and found her peach pie. Well, her peach pie actually made reference to one of the cookbooks that she used, and I did not realize she uses this one, and this is the new Annette Pope School of Cooking book. It is a very old cookbook, and I don't know if it's still in print. You could probably get a used copy, but on page 762 is the fresh peach pie, and it's down here. I'm going to bring it in close so you guys can see the ingredients. This is the ingredients you need for the peach pie. I'm going to try to get it a little bit closer in so you guys can see it. If you need to bookmark it, it is using 2 pounds of fresh peaches, and this is for a 10-inch pie. So if you're doing a 9-inch pie, you're going to maybe subtract a little bit of each ingredient. But it uses 2 pounds of fresh peach, 1 cup of sifted granulated sugar. You don't really need to sift the sugar. This, like I said, this is a very, very old cookbook. This was probably done in the 1950s, maybe even a little bit earlier than that. Perfect. Let me see what the... 1961 was when it was, but it had editions in 1948 and 1953. So this is a very, very old cookbook. Edward, knock it off. So it's going to use 2 pounds of fresh peaches, 1 cup of sifted granulated sugar. Like I said, you don't really have to sift the sugar anymore. I need to stop for a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. It uses 3/4 cup of water, and you're not going to pour the water on the peaches. You're actually going to boil it, and I'll get to the instructions in a second. 3 tablespoons of cornstarch diluted with 1/4 cup of water. So that means you're going to mix the 3 tablespoons of the cornstarch with the 1/4 cup of water, and you're going to dilute the cornstarch. You're going to mix it till it becomes slurry. 1/8 teaspoon of salt and 3 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. And you're going to use plain breadcrumbs or dry stale bread that you process in the food processor. I'm actually not going to use this one because this is a lot more complicated, and I don't actually remember my grandmother doing this recipe. But it says, place the peaches in a colander and dip into boiling water about 1 minute. Remove skins, slice about a half an inch thick, and brush with lemon juice. Prepare glaze with the sugar, water, and cornstarch diluted with water. Mix well and cook until thickened and clear, stirring continuously. Always cook glaze several minutes after it comes to the boiling point. Add the salt. Pour hot glaze over sliced peaches, mix gently, and allow to become cold. Then pour them into the pie crust that has been sprinkled with breadcrumbs. Bake as per general directions. Serves 8. And my grandmother has 400-degree oven for 25 minutes, and then you're going to turn it down to 350, and you're going to bake it 15 to 20 more minutes. We're not going to use this for the peach slices. I'm going to go in a different direction with that. So I'll be back in a few minutes with that. Now we're going to get into the canning process. So stay tuned for that.